No turning back. No turning back. I know you go down. I know you go.
I go down to the things I don't know. Every minute, now they move me, they lead me, they go from God. Mine is made up, of course.
You have to be smiling. You have to be smiling as well. Aha! And there we go. Okay. There you go. I have decided to follow Jesus. I have decided to follow Jesus. Okay. Everybody know. No. Okay, now you have to pretend you're feeding your neighbor. You go. Aha! Look in your neighbor's eyes. And then we now go. No turning back. No turning back. Now you have to do my face. I went the other way. I went now our feet. Never. Huh? Come on. Come back. Whoa. Give yourselves a round of applause. Well done. We'll be ready just to come and share a short prayer before we start. One will be someone from the Muslim faith and one will be someone from the Christian faith. Is that okay with everyone? Yes. Okay. So let me just officially welcome everyone. I am Dr. Kemi Akiode Adebayo, was known as Mama K, mostly, because afterwards I got my doctorate, which is fine. But that's the brand, for me that I've done. But I'll tell you a story about that later. So I'm with Bold Moves Africa. This is what we do. For those who don't know what we do, that's Bold Moves Africa. Our main objective is to try and reduce poverty and to promote peace, working with youth, working with women, and working with the underserved communities. But we don't work alone. We work in collaboration with others, and that's how we're here today. So this is not just a Bold Moves thing. It's a collaboration of event between Hope Cape Town and Bold Moves Africa. So thank you very much to our host, Hope Cape Town, who are here. They'll tell you about what they do as well at some point. Although most of you know especially adult seniors, because you're here. But it's good to keep hearing it because you're their ambassadors, I would say. So that when you're out there, it's like you go to Home Cape Town. What do they do? I don't know. You need to keep hearing what they do here. It's important. So I welcome you again to today's event. It's the Forever Altered film screening documentary. We'll be showing a movie, 30 minutes, just 30 minutes. And I'm glad we started on the positive side, with that dance, because the topic we're talking about is, things people normally don't want to talk about, and where sometimes, yes, we could get all emotional about it.
اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم آمين.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Abraham. Okay, for...
En aan de eer van môre, Here, ons vra dat U se Heilige Gees met ons sal wees, dat U sal beweeg, dat U alle harte sal aanraak, Here, en dit ons op sal weet om te ontvang. Here, ons sê vir U alles in danksegging. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much, Wendy. Okay.
People who know me know that I don't do anything short. I take a long time to explain. And it's not my fault. It's because Hope Cape Town does so much. It takes a long time to explain what goes on in this place. So, for those of you who don't know, Hope Cape Town this year will be celebrating its 25th anniversary. So we're very excited about that, and we have a lot of new plans. For those of you who don't know as well, we've just purchased more land on this side. Woo! So we're going down, down, down. And Khadija and I spoke this morning, and we said that she said, we're not allowed to have a bigger seniors group because there isn't enough space. Soon there will be enough space and your group can grow. Okay. So currently we have an early childhood development center for neurodiverse children. There's a grade R class. There are 12 children in that class. There is play therapy, speech therapy, what other therapies? Occupational therapy. And then we have the play lab, where a lot of different little programs happen every single day. The most exciting one that everybody talks about is robotics. And the team there has been super because they've won so many competitions. So one day they'll be jetting off, I'm sure, somewhere famous. And then they do coding, and there's a variety of different programs for moms and their children, for children who should be in school but who aren't in school. And then this section over here is the youth center. So we're all youth today. And Vadine, won't you just stand up, please? Vadine is the manager of the youth center. She runs this whole center with a group of volunteers. The volunteers are all young people from Delft. She trains them, she mentors them, and they do an incredible job. We are so proud of them. We have 45 children at the moment who are in after school, and they get all kinds of attention. They're doing so well. They get monitored with their school reports, and they get assisted when necessary. But there's also fun things for them to do as well, especially during the holiday program. They go on excursions, they go swimming, they do all kinds of things. So that's the youth center. Then we have the holistic health center. I think some of you are in the chronic groups. There's a variety of different groups. We call our health focus Cycle of Hope, which starts with a pregnant mother and the baby. First 1,000 days of the baby is the most important, starting at conception, and a variety of different programs. If you come here on a Friday morning, for example, there'll be at least 50 ladies with their babies for vaccinations, baby inoculations. So there, and Wednesdays it's the mums group, antenatal, postnatal, and everything in between. The building on this side over here, Bavarian House, where the seniors have their meeting, that is Education and Training Center. Where's Rosette? I saw her coming in. She's still here. Rosette and her 2 team members, Farida and Logan. They are running the Career Pathways program. It's been a tremendous success. They go into all the schools. They teach or they train the life orientation teachers so that they can do really impactful work in the schools where they are. You know the E-Center, I think most people have been up there. And then we also have the Next Step program, which is helping young people when they finish school. They don't quite know what they want to do or where they want to go, so it opens up their minds and experiences to a variety of different opportunities. And then there is our seniors, and we have an advisory committee, and we have Fitness is Life, and a lot of extracurriculums for children and for adults. So that's what we're doing now. And in the future, this garden will grow much bigger with a number of different projects that are focused on climate change and green energy and all those things that we read about that's so important in our world. So that's where we are at the moment. Thank you, Mama Kay.
Thank you. Yeah, it's important to hear it from the source in terms of what is being done and so much more that needs to be done. And we thank yourself and all your team. I see a lot of them, at the back there, for what you're doing and just impacting lives positively.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Thank you so much for taking time out to be here this morning. I'm very, very excited to share my story with you. Again, I think I met some of you yesterday, so thank you for coming back to see this. Forever Altered came up. I happened to do that after I lost my husband 5 years ago. I realized all the pain, the difficulties I went through, and I just wanted to kind of help other women, like talk about the problems. We never talk about it in Africa. We don't like to talk about death anywhere in the world, to be honest. So I decided to just do this documentary so you could join me, walk through my journey, and see how I went from pain to liberating myself to where I am today. I'm able to stand here and talk to you about it. Grief is a very big topic, but it never ends. I'm still there. Some days are good, some days are bad. It could just be one little thing I see, and then I'm just like, oh my God, I wish she was here. But again, like I said yesterday, once you realize the person is gone, they're never coming back. I don't care how much you love them. I don't care how much you wish. I've never seen anybody come back. So, except, I guess, Jesus. But I don't see how you're going to change the story. So if it happens to you, it's happened already. Just accept it, embrace it, go through the pain. It's a journey. You have to go through the pain. You have to go through the disappointments, the stress. But it makes it easier if you are prepared, if you have things in place to support you if it happens to you. For instance, a lot of women, at least that I know of in Nigeria, they like to be stay-at-home moms. You can be a stay-at-home mom, but you have to have a skill. You have to know how to make money. You don't just sit there and take money from your husband and not learn how to make money. Because if you close your eyes now and tomorrow morning he's gone, how are you going to feed yourself? How are you going to feed your children? How are you going to sustain your life? You don't want to drop from like up there to the floor because you weren't prepared. So again, this documentary is not to make you feel sad. It's not to make you have pity for me. It's for you to learn, encourage you to remember death is part of life. It happens. It remains a very big topic. But for women, I just want you to please look at this from the angle of what if it were me? And for men as well. Because if you wake up tomorrow and your wife is gone, can you feed your kids? Can you take them to school? Do you know how to do anything? Do you even know where the report cards are? Do you even know who the teacher is? So let's pay attention to life when we have it. Let's make the most of what we have. So I just encourage you all to just learn from this, but don't feel the pain. I know it's going to stir you up, but please just look at it as a learning process. Thank you for coming. Again, I'm a social worker in New York. I work with homeless men, homeless single men. I spoke to homeless people the other day, and I told them that homelessness is a universal thing. Just as you see America, oh my God, New York, we have homeless people there too. And it happens from just one little thing happening to you. Either you lose your source of income, and then from there, it spirals out of control and you don't have a home anymore. So again, when you become homeless, it doesn't mean that's the end of the life for you. No, it's the beginning of another chapter. So learn from it, look for what you can do to encourage yourself, to empower yourself, so that you can move away with it with a lesson learned. Please enjoy Forever Altered as a documentary that teaches, not a source of pain. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you very much. And we slept, in a house in a town called Ijebu-Ode in Ogun State, Nigeria. I couldn't. And I couldn't for a very long time. And another very close sister, big sister of mine died. And I went to Nigeria for it. I was then in Scotland. And the line in state again, I knew I came to Nigeria for it. Long way, spent a lot of money. And when they were saying for people to come and pay their last respect, I remember saying, you have to get up. You have to get up. Because she had been sick and was, and I didn't see her close to the time she died. And I got up and let's pretend it's here. And I was like this. I was like this, and I was like, yeah, I've done it. Until, and this is what this brought up for me, because you experience things and they're deep back there for you, until one of my very, very close auntie as well passed, and we were so close. I go to Nigeria each time. I love staying with elderly people all the time, because I believe I learn from them. And each time I go to Nigeria, even while here, I'll go and visit her. Until that day, she too was buried in Ijebu-Ode. She's from Ijebu-Ode in Nigeria, Ogun State. And I remember that was an overnight thing, We do an overnight thing where the body, you dress her home. It was her home in the village or the town. And I had to summon courage because my husband was in there. And I went and I saw that she looked as if she was sleeping. She looked as if she was sleeping. And I think the next time I've looked at was my dad. I'll share a little bit of that now. And then the last one was my friend here, Wendy's son. I didn't want to do it, but I did. As a last respect, I never believed in that, but I think now I'm getting it. Although saying that, I shared this, and I know she's walked in just now. My sister friend as well lost her grandson last Friday. 3 months old. Just died. And I remember the wake as well. And culturally, my culture, you don't even recognize that child.
They don't.
Even if it dies 1 day old, it's like they never lived.
Yep.
In the Yoruba culture, sadly, those are some of the bad things in my culture that I'm not proud of. And, you don't know where the child is buried, and I'll share my personal story on that. And on that day on Saturday in the morning, the wake, and I saw family friends. I saw the mother, the father who just got married last year was at their wedding as well. And I could see the pain in them. And I kept avoiding. And I think one time somebody said, if you want to pay last respect now, go. And I couldn't. But when I went near to them, I think they broke down. And I went near to, the Holy Spirit told me to go around them and just stay around them. And I picked a little, and I was like, God, why? We ask God a lot of questions. Death is the only certain thing. We don't know when, how, where. And we don't know which is better, I always say. Is it when somebody dies suddenly? Or is it when they've been sick? There's none. Or accident? Or when they're just sleeping. I had an auntie too, she was just sitting in the sitting room and she was watching TV and she was gone. Just sitting. And I know I normally have that discussion now, with my husband, because he taught me as well how to embrace and not to fear death and how to grieve. Because he lost his father when he was 18 in school, he lost his mother. But when we got married, I used to get confused because he always used to speak to them as if they were alive. So when he's speaking to other people, I think by the time they finish, they were like, okay, so you're going to visit? I don't know how to explain it. And I said, no, my parents are passed. And they look at him. Because it used to tell me, I say, yeah, it's the memories. So he used to talk about them as if they were alive. He will share stories. So now what you're doing is building memories with your loved ones. Start building their memories. I lost my brother at the age of 10. He drowned in our home, in the well. And I was 10 and he was 3 or 4, I can't remember how old. We were looking for him, we couldn't find him. And I'm a dreamer. I dreamt before then that he had drowned. But when that day we couldn't find him, I then went to the well. After looking, I went to the well, then I called his name. Even to say his name, sometimes I can't say it. I called his name into the well, Kolawole. Let me say the name. And I saw bubbles. At that time I was 10, but later on was when it occurred to me that he was actually still alive then. But then I called everybody. I'm like, no, one of my daddy's friends, my mom was not around. Go look in the well. And they're like, wow, what do you mean? I said, just go look. And then they brought him down. I've still got that vivid memory of them just bringing the body and just on the floor. And that was it. That was the last I saw of it. And like I said, in my culture, all photos in the house disappeared of him. No photos. And this grandmother I was telling you was the one I now told that I dreamed. I couldn't even sleep in the house. I had to go and sleep in my uncle's house, auntie's house. And I told him, oh yeah, I dreamed. I said, next time when you dream, pray. You have a gift, pray. Just pray at that time. But I'm at peace. And then I lost my father too, about 3 years ago. I'm the eldest of 13. And that's but I'm thankful for his life and what he did in my life. But what I'm trying to do, and I'm going to open the floor now, and then we'll get Miss T, Lady T. She's on share, and then we'll hand over to Marlene, maybe to help us with navigating whoever talks. So, which one do you want first? Do you want to open the floor? Or
Okay. Hi, everyone. How was that for you? Every time I watch, it's like I feel sorry for that lady. So that's progress for me. If I'm able to experience this out of body, I can watch and see what she went through, how her life was, how she was feeling pain. Every scene in that documentary seemed like she was about to cry. And I felt so bad that as human beings, we have to go through that. But it's part of life. You just have to. You're lucky if you get to, I was 55 when it happened to me. So at least I was a little bit older. I've heard of people losing their spouse at 16, 18, 20. My kids were older, so I didn't have to struggle for school fees, how to feed them. You know, there's so many things else you worry about when you lose a close person. But I just pray that, you know, you develop the strength, because grief is not just for your spouse or family member. You could grieve the loss of your home, the loss of the life you knew, the loss of a job. Anything that means something to you, that is meaningful or valuable to you, when you lose it, you know, you feel the pain. So I just want to encourage you today. It's possible. I'm standing here. I can't believe it. 5 years ago, if you told me, oh, eventually you're going to do a documentary and you're going to fly all the way to Cape Town and talk to them about it. I've been talking for the past 2 months. It's surprising to me. I just keep doing Zoom programs, and I speak in one, and then the next thing I'm getting a call, they want you back. I'm like, what? I was just trying to tell them a little bit of myself. So it's a topic that needs to be discussed. A lot of people need a platform to talk about their pain. They need somebody to listen to them. They need somebody to help them. If you have the opportunity, please go for counseling. I'm a social worker, and I thought, why do I need to speak to anyone? I went to school for this. I can speak to myself. But it doesn't work like that. I had to go into counseling, see a therapist before I began the healing process. If you do not deal with the pain, it could eat at you. It could kill you on the inside. You just don't want to leave. I remember at the beginning, about a few months into this whole thing, one day, I just got in my car and started driving at 12 midnight. I think I was about to do something crazy because I was tired of the pain. Every minute of the day, my heart was just pounding. I just felt a gaping hole in my chest. And I started driving towards the highway, going at a fast speed. Thinking, maybe I should just drive off the cliff. Then I won't feel this pain again. I'll go meet him. And then other people can feel the pain for me. But luckily for me, one of my kids called me. I don't know why she called me at 12 midnight. And she's like, Mom, why are you on the highway? Because we share our locations. I forgot. I didn't turn that off. So I said, no, I'm home on the bed. She said, I can see you. You're on the Southern States Parkway. I said, oh, yeah. I went to pick food. She said, I'm coming to your house right now. So I had to make a U-turn and start rushing home in a minute. As soon as I started driving home, all the other kids started calling me. So I knew they had spoken to each other. Went home, but I never told them why I was there. They kept asking me and I could not. But looking in their faces, looking at these 4 kids staring at me, like I'm the only parent they had now. And I'm about to do something so stupid. That's what I said to myself. It didn't make sense anymore. I just said, you know what? I'm tired of this pain. I need to keep it somewhere. So I started listening to podcasts. I don't know if you know about a pastor in Houston. His name is Joel Austin. He talks a lot about things like this. So I started listening every day. I wake up in the morning, I turn that on. I put gospel music. I just encourage myself. It's hard, I'm telling you, it's very hard. But you have to do the work. You have to do it. Even if it's the loss of your mother, your father, your sibling, work on yourself. If you don't work on yourself, it's gonna do a number on you. And it could be very devastating. So I hope I was able to encourage you today. Please, let's all stay strong. And I want you all to be advocates, ambassadors of talking to other people. Not many people were able to be here today, but you were here for a purpose. And the purpose is to get the message and go back out there and talk to other people. let them know that there's just always a light at the end of a tunnel. There's hope. I'm standing here now, and when I tell people I'm going to be 61, they say I'm lying. So I had to work on myself on the inside to bring out the outside. So please, thank you all for coming, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're right.
I think the first thing I would like to say is thank you for a very, very intimate story. Very often we see people that we know, whether it's family or friends, and they tell the story, but they only tell us what's on the outside.
Right.
And I think from this documentary, you opened your heart, and you showed us, you exposed to us that grief and that pain that you went through, and that you're still going through, I'm sure, because I don't think it ever goes away completely.
I don't think so.
I don't think it ever does that. And I think that, may I call him Lamiti?
Yes. That's his name.
I think that Lamiti was an incredibly wise man. I think that comes across very, very clearly in the documentary. He showed you everything before he left. He showed you what you needed to do in terms of house, in terms of children, in terms of the business. He prepared you.
Yes, he did.
He prepared you. And when you walked out of the house to go to the emergency room, I have one question.
Everybody asked me that question.
What was in the drawer?
So I didn't remember that envelope until about maybe 2 months after, because I was broken. I couldn't even think. Then one day I'm laying down there still miserable, and something said, "Did you check the bedside drawer? And did you look for the envelope I left for you?" And I'm thinking, who's that talking to me? So I checked it, and it was money, a lot of money. It was a lot of money. And then I just smiled and I said, even in death, you still managed to give me something, you know. And it really came in handy, because I'm telling you, I was laying on the floor. I couldn't function. So it was money. It was a good sum that made my life a bit more easier at that time. Thank you.
And I think that that's the lesson that I take home with me today. I don't know if you have all prepared. I think as we get older, so we realize our own mortality. But I think anything can happen at any time. And do the people who we are leaving behind, do they know what to do? Do they know what to do with my remains, what I would like? Do they know what to do with the assets or the finances? Do they know what to do with my children, if I've got young children? Do they know what my dreams and my wishes were that I wasn't able to fulfill that may be fulfilled?
Yes.
Yes, he was a very, very wise man, Lamiti, and I'm sure that you have continued that with your own children.
Yes, I have. I'm very transparent.
Yeah.
I'm very transparent with them. Every single thing. I tell them, this is this is that. I put money here. I did this. This is my bank account. This is my password. I tell them everything, because I saw how he's doing that made the transition easier for me. And I also didn't mention one very vital thing he did. About 9 years before he passed, he had come on one of his trips from Nigeria, and he gave me a little cassette recording. And he gave it to me, and he said, that's very important. I want you to keep it and guard it. I said, with all my heart. I threw it on the dresser, and he said, no, I need you to keep that. So I called my oldest daughter, and I said, okay, Daddy wants us to guard this with our lives. What do we do? She said, let's drag the dresser out and tape it behind it. So again, after he passed, about maybe another few weeks, something said, what about that cassette I gave to you? Did you listen to it? Did you do something about it? So I didn't remember where it was. I called my daughter, and she said, oh, we stuck it behind the dresser. So we brought it out, sent it to the company that turned it into a flash drive. And then we put it in the computer. Lo and behold, it was a will. It was him talking. If you're looking at this, that means I died. And I am so sorry I had to leave you. And then he gave clear instructions to his brothers. He came from a family of 4 brothers. And he said to them to leave me alone. And everything he has or had or would ever have belongs to me. And that I will make decisions for his children. That made a lot of difference. Because in the African setting, I don't know how it is here. Sometimes the family have to take charge and make decisions, even if it doesn't make sense to the wife. They change the children's schools to cheaper ones because you're wasting money, stuff like that. So he just literally said every decision, every monetary, financial, anything should go to her. I trust her, she will make the right decision. And that made a lot of difference. So again, some of my talks, I tell people, just make a will. If all you have is just a phone, determine who you want to get that phone. You don't want your phone going to the wrong person. If you want your neighbor to have it, let them have it. But if you don't say anything, somebody else will just take it. Yeah, so we all have to make a will. I tell people, once you have a child, you should make a will. Then you manage to get to the age of 50. What are you waiting for? You get to 60, you're still waiting? On what? That doesn't mean you're going to die. It's just you're making decisions for your future. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Sharon. People have always told me there's no bigger pain than losing a child. But I didn't believe it until I experienced it. My son was shot and killed 2 years ago on the 8th of January 2024. But up until now, there was a police officer at my house to tell me how far the case went. And the most painful part for me was that he was in matric. His girlfriend was in grade 11, and she was pregnant at the time. But before they shot him, they shot his friend in September the year before. He was robbed and killed. And after they shot his friend, he told me, Mommy, you know what? I also don't want to live anymore. I think that was my brother shot and killed me also. Then I just tell him, you know what? You must look forward to your son, that unborn child of yours. And the thing is this, they didn't even give him an opportunity to see his own child born. Of course, he was shot in January and the child was born in March.
Oh, God.
Friday from now, 27, he will be 2 years old. And I just thank God that He did give me the strength to look after that child during his mother still went to school, back to school after the pregnancy, after the child was born. And last year she paid, she passed matric with a bachelor. And the thing is this, just by looking at that child, I can't explain to you guys the power of the Lord. Thank you, I can't speak any further.
That's a lot.
Good day, everybody. My name is Wahida Binet. I'm also a director of Home Moves. And I lost my grandchild last Friday. I just want to ask Stella that I saw the video on the documentary on Monday. I saw the documentary. And I told Ms. Kemi that I wanted to ask something, but the time wasn't on our side really Monday.
Yeah.
So today I'm going to ask, there's a clip in that documentary that stood out for me. It actually sits by me. The second when that art machine, I saw it in that clip, it went so, and then it went straight. What was what went through your mind that time?
Are you referring to the beginning of the documentary?
Yes.
Flat line. The flat line.
When you said all your kids was running
Yes.
around, the nurses had to catch them and all those things. Just
So what happened to me at that point?
Yes, what was going through? Yes.
I felt like I came out of my body because that wasn't me. That wasn't happening to me. That's a movie
Yeah.
that I've watched several times on TV when you see people lose people. But to be there and watch somebody you've known for over 30 years, just they start doing code blue, pumping the chest, and then the machine goes. That moment you realize it's over. For me, I thought I was going to die. There's just no way I can survive without him. You know, you've intertwined your life with somebody so much, and you feel like there's no way you can see life without them. But believe me, I'm here now. He hasn't been here for 5 years, regardless of the pain. Each journey in life starts with a step. We'll take one step at a time. We just keep moving. And one day we'll get to a point where we can reference it as a memory. I don't like going to the hospital. I don't like hearing somebody is sick. I'm not coming to visit. I haven't been to any funeral since he died. I avoid it. I don't care who it is. I'm just going to not go. Because again, I've worked on some parts of my life, but I don't think I've completely mastered every area. There's still some areas that are still gray, painful, and I try not to. And that's why I said I'm impressed that I'm able to go to the burial ground by myself. As a matter of fact, I go every month. I was there last week, Thursday. I traveled on Friday. I'll just drive there and just, hey boy, how's it going? Most times I don't have anything to say. I just stand there, bring out the vase, put the flowers, and I'll be like, I'm still here. And I just get in my car. Some days I talk about, oh, we have a grandchild now. This is happening, that is happening, but he's not coming back. But at least he's in a place where I can go visit. Because that was another issue about family making decisions for you. Left to the family, he would have been taken back to Nigeria, which didn't make sense to me. I and the kids all live in America. Why are you taking him there? How are we going to visit him? Who's going to go watch, you know? But because he said I had to make the decisions, I made a decision that worked for my family. So, flatline is a bad thing. I don't ever want to see it again.
Okay, thank you for sharing. Can I maybe see a little a story of my own journey, going back 2006 when I lost my mother. So I lost my mother 2006, and this was really something out of, not even a movie, I don't know. Because on that day, when she said to me, I asked her, Mom, we're going to take you to the hospital now. She said, okay. I watched the time. I said, okay, it's 11 o'clock, we can go. We drove past the Thai hospital. We went to East River. And when we got it was 11:30, and everything happened so quick. It happened so quick. I had to cut the clothes off. I had to do everything. My cousins were there. They couldn't come in the room. I had to be with her alone. So this is my journey. I had to cut the clothes off, and I had to take off everything. And she had to amputate the legs. So that was also there. And they wheeled her into her room. I stood next to her, and she took my hand and she put it on her heart, and that was, I think, 5 to 12. And she put my hand on her heart, and I put my hand on her hand, and immediately a minute to 12, her heart stopped, and that machine went from it to that
line.
And that is where I felt that heart just stopped in there. And then I shouted so loud. I shouted so loud that I felt I was out of my body. I could see myself literally standing there. And still I had my hand on her heart. And then my phone, it went off. And then I just grabbed my phone out of my pocket, and then I'm talking to my brother-in-law. He was calling me. I'm talking to him. I said, like, she just passed her out, and we have to be, they have to come. And everything after that. Now I've experienced that so many times, and twice I've received calls over the phone where they will say, something happened, and then I shout, that same shout.
Right.
I shout on that day. And even on Friday with my grandson, the mother called me and she said, Auntie Wafida, something happened to Imad. And I shouted that big one that I closed my eyes, and when I close my eyes, I go out. I don't see anything, I can't talk to them, I can't even tell them what's happening. So that is my experience of that thing. I think it's something in me when it comes to that. It's that part that gets to me. It's that part that's still stuck to me. That is still stuck to me today. I can't figure it out. I can't know where to go, how to move about it. And that is how we go on.
Well, my suggestion, you need therapy.
No.
You need professional help. When you're stuck, get the help.
Thank you. I'll do that. Thank you.
Thank you, Wahida.
I'll let her.
All right, thank you so much, everyone. I'm just, feeling very emotional at this moment in time, with the experience and everything else. So what happened to me, my mom died when I was like 2 years old. So I never got to see her. My mom and dad, my aunts, with my mom, never told me that she died. So it was after 10 years later that I got to discover, it was like one of the relatives from my family said, it's like, you know that your mom died? I'm like, no, you're lying. That's the mom that I have that I'm living with. So with time, my dad had to sit down with me and he explained, you know what? Your mom was a very beautiful lady. She was passionate, she's normal, Hearing that was rather emotional for me because I've never seen her, one. Number two, I never got to have a bond to know what happened to her. So I went in my research, I'm like, okay, Dad, how did she die? And no one explained to me. It was very traumatizing in me that for the most of the time growing up, it came and haunted me. Despite having my aunt who's my mother, I call her mom, no aunt. I would sit down with her and ask her, what was my mom like? She's like, okay, she was a good person. So it also came to pass later that my aunt, my father's sister, died as well in an accident, and she left a child that was very small, like 3 years old. And when she died, they mentioned to her that your mom traveled by bus. They didn't tell her that the mother died, which is a bit traumatic because in the African culture, I tend to realize that it's most of the time when a parent dies, they don't tell the kids, your mother dies. They tell them, okay, she's traveled, she's gone to the UK, but the emotion that comes and steps to that child, how does she feel when she grows up to realize that the parent is no more? Though I'm bonded with my aunt, I call her mom, it hurts me when people say it's your aunt, because the family members from the mother side are like, you're living with a mom that's not yours, she's a stepmom to you. So in this moment, is there a way that we can speak to our children when they're young Do they understand if you tell them, okay, this is what happened to your mother, she's no more at a younger age than telling them when they have matured? Because it kind of creates trauma that doesn't heal, because like they'll be wanting to know, but why didn't they tell me, and what happened afterwards? Thank you.
Thank you. I think it goes through different cultures. So I can't speak of your culture. My culture, I don't really think they hide it. They just let you know your parent is gone and that's it. The process of delaying it is delaying the trauma. As a matter of fact, you're making it worse on the child. Because as a child, they process grief differently. It's very transient for them. They feel the pain, they're angry, and then they grow to understand it's gone. But when an adult is being told their mother traveled, and then you find out in your older age that your parent was actually dead, they robbed you of that moment where you were supposed to grieve the loss of that person. Now you're not just grieving, you're now angry. You're upset, you're irritated, you don't even know, you have conflicting emotions going on in your body. So in my own advice, let people know when people are gone. Let them face the pain now and develop a coping mechanism to deal with it in future. Sorry that happened to you.
Okay.
My name is Lee. My surname is Solis. I've got a different dynamic. That's all that I want to say is my life turned around in 2019 when my son, he was at the age of 23. He was diagnosed, he was drugged, and he was diagnosed with bipolar. After bipolar, he got a stroke. And after the stroke, you've got epileptic sickness. So that was his journey, and that was the journey from 2019 up till 2025.
Wow.
Then 4 days last year before Christmas, I had a fire. My house was on fire. And that was 4 days before Christmas.
Right.
After that, 7 days after that, my life changed more and more and more because I lost my mother. My mother was a piece of gold for me. She was my sister, she was my mother, she was my friend. I could have speak anything to her, and I could have done anything for her. I'm doing private sewing where I do alterations, and every Saturday when my mother came, I had to make her a dress. And that dress she keep in a cupboard, and she always keep it there. But said nothing to me about the dresses and stuff, but she just won. So I did that for her. And on that Saturday, on that day, my eldest son and his wife decided that we're going to go to the beach for the day.
Okay.
And that was the 3rd of January.
All right.
And on that 3rd of January, we just got into the party. And we got into the party. They said my other daughter get a phone call. And they said my mother died. Wow. I said, died? But my brother-in-law kept me away for 2 months from my mother. So I couldn't have any contact with my mother. I couldn't see her. I couldn't do anything. I had to sit at home wondering when, why, how can I see my mother? And all the time, I was just walking to her. She stays in Kelsey River from Delft over there. And I had to walk to her. That was a time when I could have seen her.
Right.
And then I walked to her and I walked back, and then she scolded me and she said, why do you do this? Why do you walk to me? He said, because I love you. That's why I'm doing it. And I want to do more. But if I have the privilege and the chance to get to do more, and if they allow me to do it, then I will do it. But I cannot do it because they didn't want to allow me. But anyway, going back to the 3rd of December, January. So that day, we were sitting in the party and they told us like that my mother died.
Right.
I saw all of them crying. I wasn't crying. I said to myself, Mom, you went every week to hospital. Every second week you took my mother to hospital. Sometimes she's not sick. She's not sick. Then he took her to hospital. And if I arrive there, and my mother is sitting in a chair. This is how they manage the people at Easter River. She's sitting in a chair, not laying on the bed like all the other people lay on the bed. She have asthma, she have heart failure, she have lungs, she have all these things, and I couldn't exist. And I say to myself, yo, what I'm going to say now, it's so difficult to say it, that I rather decided, I rather said, Lord, why don't you take my mother? Because she can't suffer like this. And that is what the trauma that I went through all the time up till when she died. And that day, my daughter-in-law said to me, Ma, you want to go? I said, no. She said, yes, ma'am, please just go. And I went there, me and my two sons and my brother. We went there, my mother was lying there. I was sitting and praying for her while she was lying, praying for what I did and why I couldn't be with her and all these things. And after that, her eyes was open. All of them tried to close her eyes, but she waited for me to close her eyes. And when I got there, the first thing while I started praying, I closed her eyes. And we got close her eyes, it was fine. The day we went to the mortuary, we had to go identify her body. And we went there. It was a sight to see my mother. My mother was like, she was swollen. Her eyes were so swollen that she couldn't, it's at least a finger from her face. And I said to the people there, why must we do this? And my sister ran out, my brother ran out, and I was the only one. There wasn't people keeping me away. So they ran out. So I was the only one, and I said to the lady, I'm going to watch my mother, this is what I want to do. And maybe this will make me feel better. And that is what I felt much better. And the day when the funeral was, and she was cremated, and she had to go, right? And there's where I discovered that it's a reality, she must go. And after that, when I came back, I said to myself, maak nou richtig weg. Je gaat dat nooit meer zien, ze is voor altijd weg. En je gaat dat nooit meer zien. And that is hoe ik zo realized that my ma is now dead. After that, my mother was 2 months dead. Not yet 3 months dead. My sister called me. She said to me, come fetch your mother's stuff. And I said, my mother's stuff? That was our mother. So I took the stuff and I kept it with me with the ashes. And I kept it there by me.
Okay, no problem.
And while I was keeping the ashes, 3 days after that, she contacted me again and said, I also want the ashes. I said, you know why? You feel guilty, but I am uncovered because I know what I did for my mother.
Right.
And that is what I want to say. All of you that have soul mothers, please don't ever let them go. That is the hardest pain that you can get. I'm not even healed yet. People watching my status, I can see how I still traumatize and still going through the trauma, fighting with myself. Fighting. I'm fighting really. It's almost like I lose a child. It's not like that. But now I'm struggling. I can't even think about it. Now I'm struggling with my son.
This is for
Last night he had it
before we go.
here. I said to myself, okay, I'm going. My son, if I'm gonna only be a few hours and I'm gonna come back to you. He said to me, no, mommy, don't worry. While I have God, I don't have other problems. So don't worry, you go and enjoy yourself. Come back, you just come back and come greet me. And that is what I want to say. Thank you very much.
Wow. Thank you. That was really deep. Very deep. And I appreciate the fact that you recognize that in order to heal yourself, you wanted to do something, something brave to prepare your mother. Like, I'm not sure I can even do that. My mom is going to be 87 on the 7th of April. So I still have a mother, and I know what you mean. We have to love these people that God has placed in our lives. There's a reason they're there. And the other thing...
Good morning. I'm not going to talk a lot because I want Natalie to talk. Because she actually went through a lot of grieving. But I'm also grieving.
It's okay.
I didn't have a nice sleep. Because my sister who passed on, eldest daughter, they actually diagnosed him 3 years ago about cancer. And on Friday morning, the only month, my sister, my baby sister, didn't want to inform me because I know how do I feel with my family.
No.
So her husband passed on 5 o'clock, and you know God is very great. Because early that morning, 3 o'clock, I was coughing and even choking. The way the cough was actually that time between 3 and 4. But my baby sister and my family didn't want to inform me about us who passed on. So Friday morning, his janaza was Friday. But like you talking about your husband, we can also talk about Cassie. Because Anas left school early age and things to go and work. And he didn't look upon her. But I knew he was really a husband for her, 100%. The way he was actually treating us. Nobody, if we were poor, but he was really an amazing person. And even the children want to play soccer there in Lotus River and they don't have clothes. He was always, they come, belong to my team, I will go buy you tracksuits and things like that, you understand? And I mean, he was really, and even while we were crying and grieving, she said to me, Auntie, my husband left everything for me. I got no, hoe kan een mens de schuld op zijn lezen? En she's a good children.
I won't have to buy a
But
new
that's
one.
why I say
What's
we
fair,
are
Luther?
still grieving over him.
No, Momoli will not to US.
I just want to give
It's more.
Natalie also the opportunity because she is proud of us to belong to the senior club because she was always sitting at home. And ever since she actually joined the senior club at Mandela Peace Park, but she can talk, but I admire the way she is. She's my child.
Oh.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Natalie. I'm from Delft. My son died in 2019. When I get the news that night, I was so sleepy, lying on the bed. I didn't know that it was his last time I saw him. The last time I heard, he was standing with his baby on his arm in front of my bed. And he said, look at Ma. Ma, I'm going now with my child. And I said, okay, but that's fine. I see you later. And 20 minutes, I was sleeping and I was sleeping. I hear so far away the guns out in my street. I didn't know the people who know him, who know that story. It was in the paper. He was shot with his baby in his arm on the back.
What?
When I get the news, I only ask, where is the child? When I get there, my grandchild was sitting there on the pavement. She was 2 years old. She's 9 now. And the police officer asked me, is that I'm his mother? I say yes. He said I can come in and they left at the door. And I witnessed. I was phoning some of my colleagues helped me to phone. I can't handle my phone. And I phoned everybody from my family members. And their phones are all on voicemail.
Wow.
And my husband wasn't there. He was attending a church meeting that night. So it was only me alone, witness my son lying there. And I asked God, why are you allowed it for me alone to witness my son? Alone. The community was supposed to support me. They was yelling at me.
Why?
They was yelling at me. So one day, one of my best friends, I working in the 90s, she asked me, why are you looking so? What is happening? I didn't know you look like that. You were fat. The last time I saw you, I told her my story. And she said to me, now you must come to join Mandela Peace Park. And that is why I'm so grateful for Hachija. For all the support. I joined the club, and the ladies, they phone me sometimes and ask me, I'm still grieving. How are you doing, Natalie? I'm fine. I'm very grateful for their support, and I love them all. Thank you, Hachija. Thank you, Maureen, for your support for the time that I'm still grieving. Please pray for me.
Thank you for that, Miss.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Diane. I've got something small to share too. I lost my sister, my elder sister. It's only the two of us. 2017. She had heart problems, sugar diabetes, kidney. So, but she doesn't stay here. She lived in the Philippine Islands. So, this Friday, my brother-in-law calls me and he says my sister went into a coma. And he asked me if I would love to come over. So I said yes, but I don't have money. He sent me my ticket and everything. Yeah, it was the hardest of my birthday. I flew far into the Philippines, far east, to go to my sister. And she was in a coma. And my brother-in-law fetched me by the airport. We went straight to the hospital. Yeah, but the sight that greeted me, it was sad because she was on a ventilator. The lady that went with me, the two of us, and my brother-in-law, and then my two nieces, we went. And I couldn't take on her because she was on a ventilator and everything. So they put the mask and gloves. I wanted to hug her. She was just lying there motionless like that, with that thing going deep and down. It was working on me. And then I just went, I said, Maureen, it's Diane, it's your sister from South Africa, I'm here. And when I uttered those words, there was a movement. And the foot moved. I just wanted to hold her like that.
And then for the week, we used to go every night. My brother-in-law used to fetch us when he came from work. We used to go to, and I witnessed how she paused to always be with me. We were sitting there, and then as the ventilator's moving, every time she had people, I mean, the doctors and specialists coming in to her, I just saw her tongue starting to get thick and thick. I couldn't take it. It was like she's suffocating. And then they said we must just make ourselves ready because she's about to go. But I mean, our witness, I was there when my sister passed. It was the saddest moment ever. And to think when I flew over, it was on my birthday, the 7th of the 7th, when I flew over. And 1998 when I went, it was on such a happy occasion when we went there. And this was so sad now, going. But I was just glad that I could be there to be with her and to see her in the final hours of ever. But yeah, it was very, very sad.
Good afternoon. I listened to the ladies who lost their sons. I think the hardest thing is to lose a child. The other lady's not here. I listened to her when she said the mother of the child was having the baby 2 months later. So my son died last year, and his fiancée had the baby about 3 months later. So, death is death, whether it's anyhow if they were shot, if it's a child, it's difficult. And death also reveals and exposes a lot of things. But when you stand as a mother, and I think Mama Tola was saying about the bond that she and her husband had. So the Bible says that you become one. So your other half is missing. And it becomes spiritual, I think, after so many years. But when you have a child, there's a spiritual bond as well. You know, that cord that they cut. When he died, I only realized then that there's a spiritual cord that is cut that day. You feel the void inside. You don't know what it is, but it's gone. And it's the most excruciating pain that I think any parent, especially a mother, should go through. So, but what I want to say is, sorry Mama, I just want to say something in Afrikaans. Laat ons nie wag tot dood om mekaar by te staan. Ons ken ons gemeenskap, ons ken ons mense, as ek dit so moet stel. Ons kan ons die waarheid praat, nie? Moenie laat ons wag tot die dood kom om mekaar se hand vas te hou. Ek dink as ons dit gaan begin verander nie, dan gaan ons elke keer wag tot in die dood. En wanneer hy grieving time oor is vir ons, nie vir ons, nie vir die ander persoon, as dit so lyk, dan is ons missing. So let us always be the one that holds another child, another mother or father or anybody's hand before death, because you have to cover someone's back. And we can't speak about Jesus Christ, we can't speak about religion if we don't do as the word, as our religion teaches us. But we are in church every Sunday, and we are wherever we need to be. Ons is voor die Here lê ons. Maar wanneer dit kom met daardie dinge, dan is niemand daar nie. Ons is eintlik die swakste as dit kom by dit. So ek wil net vir ons bemoedig dat die loop van God is dieper as net 'n halleluja en 'n amen. Dat dit 'n bietjie dieper gaan, want ons weet nie wat die volgende persoon weer gaan. And let us be kind, because we don't know, we really don't know. And where you are in your journey, I'm in my journey, she's in her journey, that mother went through it. But we cannot blame anything or anybody, we just have to be the best that we can.
Yes.
And tell our story.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Started my savings in 2017, the 9th of January. It was holidays. And on the night of the 9th of January, my husband, we go to bed, and I told him, say, just look here, in the whole holiday you were been watching the cricket. Now it's time for me to watch a movie, because on Tuesday we're going back to work. And he said, you can now watch your movie, I'm going to sleep. An hour later, he was snoring, and I say, hey, why you snore so loud? And I didn't even know it was his last breath. But the thing is, I will go to the hospital. My son took him to the hospital. My neighbor took me to the hospital. When I came there, the machine was stacked, and I was so dumbstruck. I asked the nurse, what's wrong with him? And she said, she told me, your husband passed. And I said, it can't be. She said, Mama, your husband passed. So I don't want to talk a lot, but thank you for listening.
Thank you, Fatima. So we've heard the pain, we've heard the stories from you today, and I remember when we were watching the documentary, I don't know if you saw, there was a picture of a cell phone, obviously Tola's cell phone, and there were all these messages coming through, typed messages. Be strong, strongs to you. I think we're all guilty of having done that at certain times. And I think the person who's grieving...
Very educative, overwhelming. It shows that there's a lot of people in pain. And we have a lot of unresolved issues, you know. But what can we do? When it comes to breaking down and crying, there's no timeline. Some people break down immediately and they go through the grief physically. Some, it could take them weeks before they finally burst out. Whatever you go through, just let it out. You can't bottle it in. Keeping it in also ruins you sometimes. It just takes so much energy out of you. It's very strong. It's a strong feeling that nobody has been able to diagnose a way out of it. You have to go through the process. So, I don't know, if after my husband passed, about 3 of his friends have passed. And for each one, when I get a message, oh, this person passed, I just scroll and I put my eyes this way. It's not because I didn't love them. I just don't want to open that can of worms again. I don't want to open the can of worms because they were his friends even before we were dating. We used to go to the clubs together. We used to play around. I'll just be like, God rest their soul, and I do not engage. When I see people texting me, oh, did you hear this person? I block you for now. I just have to guard my space, my sanity, my brain. Also about when people send messages when you're going through grief. Most times we do not know what we're doing wrong. For years, I'd heard people lose their partners, their families, and I'll call them. I'm so sorry, stay strong, feel better, you know. Sometimes we make the mistake.
Wow. Thank you very much for helping to moderate, that bit. And what a journey, what a story. I'm not going to talk too much because I talk a lot. But thank you all for those tears. And for those who are supporting and cheering. The more you talk, I believe as well, the more the healing is going on. And like everyone has said, there's no timeline to grief. But thank you. So we want to just close now, but before we close, we want to just give out a few gifts and to say thank you to a few people, especially those who stood up to say something. This is where I put my marketing and sales hat on. So Bold Moves, I've mentioned what we're doing, and as a social enterprise, we're just trying to launch now the merchandise side of the business where we make mugs and so on, is all in there. And we're partnering with an homeless NGO who works with, they have 100 people on their shelter to make the Zobo drink. So we're going to give some gifts out, and we're going to be making alcohol. So, okay, we've, there's still more left, and we got iced tea from America. So we've still got a few left. If anybody wants to, please don't be shy. Now come and just pick anything, anybody else that wants to pick. Don't be shy, just come. Rosemary, there's Chin Chin, there's Zobo. Feel free to come. Yeah, there's a lot of there. Rosemary, iced tea, yeah. From America, exactly. Iced tea, and then we've got popcorn for you. So we're going to, that's Rosemary. I think it's Rosemary and iced tea left now.
I'm going to start with a grieving thing. I'm telling you guys, I'm not going to stop. But some inspiring words is that I've learned ever since COVID. I've been through a total different grief. Betrayal. Marriage of 23 years. Got two beautiful kids. Had nothing when we got married, and after 23 years, I could drive any brand new car that I wanted. But long story short, when I had to witness COVID, broke, got licensed, thank you Lord for that. My kids matriculated, then my daughter met a boyfriend, she's now 23, at the moment she's now 28. Then she met a boyfriend, got her first kid, and then that year I was going through my grief, turning 50, my first granddaughter was born. I was mad that time, because when you go for resources and you go for help and your family, nobody want to really help because everybody's going through everything. And then my daughter got the baby Muslim, and then the baby turned 2, and then she fell pregnant again with the second one. And then the fiance was diagnosed with cancer, colon cancer. He passed on. He passed on. Baby was not yet a month old. I'm not knowing how I'm going to go through this, how I'm going to deal, but then, I've got that hadith, we as a Muslim, and I know it's in the Bible as well. After all hardships comes ease, no matter what religion you are.
Right.
Then I met Wahida. My kids were still very, I think, toddlers, they were grade 2, 3, that time, that age group. Then I meet Wahida in the mosque, the mosque. That was 2006, guys. And we just we didn't see we didn't see one another every month or but we kept that bond. And you know what? I just want to say also, inspiring each and every lady, appreciate your friendship, appreciate that hand that wanna keep you, because grieving, and guys, that, well, I thought I'm gonna give up. I thought it's the end of the world. You waited, he's a coward, you waited till I'm 50 years old and then he pulled the plug. But you know what? It's a new start, new chapter. Yes. But we fight clubs, you know, the burial thing is like it went, it was cracked out because I couldn't afford. But I'm speaking up and I'm taking my steps and I'm getting my will done. And I'm happy, at peace, and thank you guys. Keep tight on the rope of our Creator.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I know you were not really wanting to do that, but you stood up, and that's important. Sometimes we need to step up. I know when I'm always okay, always busy. That's the thing about that lady, that sister. She's always, well, I don't know where
on the move.
No. Okay, please give her a round of applause. Our dear sister brought some t-shirts for us from America. So we just want to present one to you. You should be the one to
It's okay.
Oh, a bigger one.
Yeah, we got a big
Are you that big? You're small.
Okay, what I will do, can I give that to someone else that I know, does a lot there, large. Okay, so let me.
So you want it to be big?
Yeah, that one is all right. Yeah.
Here. Coming to you. So this young lady here, she does so much in the community. She's originally from Zimbabwe, but she's lived in South Africa most of her life. And you heard her share a story. I didn't even know that part of her story. She's like a daughter to me, and she's a model, she's an entrepreneur, a serial entrepreneur. She does makeup, hair. I could go on about what this young lady does. And she's only how old?
28.
Whoa.
Started this when?
When I was 24.
So, and she had an awards event last year, December. I was one of the, she knows I don't like being, even though I'm on the stage, but I don't like being given awards or anything. Because for me, it's between me and God. But she had this event where to celebrate women, entrepreneurs. And I was impressed with the powerful women in there. And she was like, you have to go, you have to do that, you have to do that. She was our boss that day. Not only that, where is Marlene? Where is Marlene? Oh, she's, okay. I love connecting people. So she works with people from Dunoon. And I've attended most of her events where they graduate. If I let just come up here. Please, a round of applause to her. She sneaks in, but I love connecting people, and then I leave things to grow. So she works with people who live in the shacks, basically in Dunoon and all that. But what she does with them is skills development. So through her foundation, Empower Afrique, they give skills, hotel, say something about what you do, just briefly.
Oh, wait, I'm overwhelmed. Thank you so much, everyone. So what we do, we take people from underprivileged communities, that can be the youth, the young girls, women that have gone through abuse, and men that are not financially stable. So what we do, we offer them skill development courses. We've got childcare, home-based care, we've got makeup and beauty. And most of the people that we've empowered are from the Eastern Cape. We went as far as the Eastern Cape. We went to West Coast, Friedenberg, and Cape Town, Dunoon, Slovo, and Mitchell's Plain as well. So during the process, we have empowered up to 8,000 people with free courses at this moment in time. Too good to be true, but it is true. So I think, I don't know what to say. Maybe it was God that had to make me do what I'm doing, because sometimes I get confused. I'm like, God, is it me that's doing this? Are you using me? And it's not me alone, but it's the people like Mama Kay that have stood and believed in my vision. It's about the older people that have said, do not give up, do it anyways. So from those 8,000, we have so many people that have gotten employed. Funny, funny story. I went and approached the Friedenberg Provincial Hospital. I say to them, this is my dream, this is my vision. I do not have funds, but how can we work together so that you can give practical placement for the students? I think the matron at that hospital looked at me like as young as you are. We cannot believe it. Then I showed them the syllabus, what we do, and they said, no, because of what you're doing, we're willing to take those people for practicals. I had to go to also home-based care centers. I talked to them as well. I had to go to places like Sorbet to speak to them. And
Yeah, I'm in an
boom,
event.
they had to give our students
I'll call you right back.
professional, practical
Are you at the
placement.
training?
And most of the ladies are working at the moment. Yeah, I thank God for everything that is doing through me, that is doing through everyone, and the light that's coming through. Thank you so much.
Wow, wow. Well done. Well, you have to put the t-shirts on. Anyone that got t-shirts, put it on top. We're going to take a picture later.
Oh, I have to take mine
That's
too.
fine. That's fine. That's perfect. And like I said, please, Marlene, she's a good person to connect to in terms of some of the youth program and all the skills development. Thank you. Yes. Okay, so now we have, we saved this for the last. And I need Waida still up here, please, just for us to support. So we just want to recognize this lady who has managed to bring us all together. God always knows everything even before we do.
Yes.
He already knew we were going to all be here and our path are going to cross. And we just want to celebrate her and to appreciate her. So
Before I read, I'm glad these are captions, I don't have to talk too much. Mama T, from my heart, thank you.
You're welcome.
When I saw the poster, I didn't know what was going to happen. Mama K just asked me if it was yes. So thank you for sharing your pain and your victory with us.
Yes.
As a community, as a country, that is also still in pain. And we needed this. We needed this, and you have made a huge impact.
Thank you.
More than what you know. So this is a gift from Bold Moves Africa on behalf of them. I'm presenting it, and it says celebrating and honoring Tola Onatipe. I hope I'm saying it right.
Yes.
Thomas, Lady T. In honor of your visionary work, forever altered, a testament to resilience for your courage in navigating the simultaneous, or I hope I'm saying it right, terrain of grief and revealing the transformative power of love. You have turned profound loss into a journey of self-discovery, a voice of empathy by weaving your Nigerian heritage with the deep empathy of social work. You have created a mirror for society that sparks conversation and ignites our shared humanity, a legacy of hope. While nurturing your 4 beautiful children, you have shared the enduring echoes of hope that remind us all of the remarkable capacity for healing. This is presented by Dr. Kimmy, the CEO of Bold Moves Africa.
Thank you.
We thank you.
Thank you so much.
Eshema.
Now you're speaking Yoruba. Thank you, Darius. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. What about my phone?
So yes, we've got with us now one of the resident mayor of Delft, she's called, and she helps, support and organize our Delft seniors here in Delft, Cape Town. What has been your main takeaway from today's event, Forever Altered film screening here in Delft? For you, what did you learn? What stood out for you?
The mostly important thing was a grieving about the people and the lady that actually gave the presentation, and most of the people, even if it's 6 or 5 or 10 or 4 years, they are still grieving, and it is very emotional. That's why I will always say to the people, my seniors, if you had something to say, talk about it in the club. That is the reason why we actually want the club here. But today's grieving, I don't know if words, because it was very, very emotional. And I mean, yes, I don't know what is that lady's name, but she actually...
Lady T.
Lady T
is fine.
Okay, Lady T, she was actually encouraged us today and to do more things as to sit at home doing nothing for themselves, go and communicate with other people or do some in organization, different kind. That is the thing that Lady T encouraged us to do from today onwards. And we are happy for her. We also want the best for her also, for a better future.
Awesome. So can you give words of encouragement now to anyone out there, male, female, who might be going through grief or loss?
I just want to encourage each and everybody out there that actually lost their husband, their children, their wives and things of that. Yes, it's Tolati encourage us to not sit at home. Yeah, grief is heartbroken, and even your loved ones, that actually, if you lost your loved ones, it's also very emotional. But we actually want you be more, come out of the house, do something, just to let the grief disappear a little out of your life. We know you won't forget your loved ones, but just to consider yourself.
Thank you for all you do, and we thank you, we see you, we celebrate you each time, and may God continue to bless you, to flourish you, to prosper you, to give you good health.
Thank you, Mama Kay. Now we're not going to see Mama Kay now for you, John. And
we'll be right back.
You know, Auntie Nina.
Yes, we're still at the roadshow, more or less, for Forever Altered film screening in Delft, Cape Town. And for those who've been watching, I'm sure you've learned one thing or two, and wow, it's been so emotional. And then we've got one of the people who stood up, who is my daughter, Menti, friend, sister, I don't even know what term to use for her. I'm boss lady sometimes. Who's just going to share, you know, as well. Tell us who you are first and what you do.
All right, my name is Chantel Manessa, founder of Empower Freak Skill Academy, Empower Freak Foundation, Cheneso Makeup and Beauty, and Cheneso Media. And of course, with my mentor here, Mama Kay.
Today's event, you shared there, you know, about your mom. So, thank you, ma'am.
That's what this is, because most of my pictures are taken of this and this.
No worries.
Going down to the quayside.
You shared about your mom there. Basically.
Take that off, you see, because the wind is blowing. And sometimes
I see. You know what, ma'am? Could you maybe have a sit? I'll call you now, and then I'll interview you as well. Thank you, ma'am. So you spoke about your mom, you know, earlier on, and for you, what has been the main takeaway from this event? And I know you shared, you know, out of the heart, basically. What has been your main takeaway from today's event?
All right, I've discovered that death, when it comes, we must not run away from it. You know, the experience that you've gone through, it makes you stronger than ever. Because like growing up, and I didn't know that my mom was dead, and me realizing a lot of, like, sometimes I had anger. I'm like, but I didn't have experience with her. I didn't have moments with her. I didn't have times with her. So how does another child that's going through the experience feels? So joining with women that have been through a lot, you have discovered that, you know what, we are many people that has the same story. And how do you define yourself? How do you walk out of that and be an inspiration? By the way, you have to be strong. You have to stand by your word, and you have to be yourself. You have to let the grief get over you. It matters at the end of the day. So I felt inspired by Miss Chola's story, Forever Outed, where she was talking about, you know, the grief that she went through, but she's still healed from it. So from this moment in time, I feel like I've been healed as well.
Hallelujah. And
you.
you are a mother yourself.
Yes.
So what message are you hoping? Because we heard from Miss Tola's story about how more or less our husband Lamiti prepared her without her even knowing, and maybe even him to not realizing. How are you going to make sure, something like that you could transfer or share, with your daughter?
All right, so with my daughter, she must know one thing. I'm building a legacy that is for her to become someone in life. We don't know when death comes. We don't know what happens to us next, but I'm just working hard to make sure that when I'm not there, she'll remember my mother was a change maker. My mother was a philanthropist. My mother was an entrepreneur. My mother used to do things that inspired people. For her, it's a legacy one because she's living to be that. By the way, before my mom died, my father told me a story. Your mother was a philanthropist. Your mother had love for children. Your mother would do things in the community. And growing up, that made me more stronger. I say to myself, I want to be like my mother. I want to fulfill what she could not fulfill. So for my daughter, it is my daughter. Just be what I would want and would have been. And also for her, I would want to, she talked about the will story, writing a will. For me, it wasn't something that came to mind because I'm still young. But from today on, I'm going to be writing something.
It's never too young.
Yes,
You're never too young.
Yeah, because we don't know what happens tomorrow. Yes.
Thank you so much. We celebrate you. We see you. We thank you for all you're doing with Empower Freak in the community, in Western Cape, Eastern Cape, and beyond. Even people just watching and learning from you.
Yes.
Now, to close, can you just share a word of encouragement to anyone out there, but looking in the camera?
All right, okay. Death has an element of blank. It's what you choose to be today. It's how you're going to carry yourself, how you're going to inspire other people. Because you know what? They're going to ask, what was she? What was he? What did he do to the world? Remember, you must aspire to inspire before you expire. Your life matters. Do the best and be the best. Thank you very much.
Yes, she's a poet. She's a writer as well. So that's her favorite quote out there. We'll be right back.
Thank you very much.
Yes, guys, welcome to People and Places, and we're still at the Forever Altars Roadshow film screening at Hope, Cape Town, and I've got another sister who shared a story, very emotional, story of pain, grief, and resilience, as well at the same time, because this is what this is all about. Can you please just today tell us who you are and what you do in terms of Marker as a brand, and as well, what has been the main key takeaway from today's event for you?
Okay. Thank you, Mama Kay. I'm Wendy. I'm the founder and the owner of Marker Beauty, also lifestyle. So what we do is we create natural, organic lifestyle products, from candles to massage oils to body butters, to even as far as apparel, which will be soon. And the documentary Forever Altered, as you can see, there's so many key aspects and elements that we can take away, with this. But I think the main thing for me is that Mama T said she wants to put the pain behind her. And the hardest thing to do is to put the pain behind you, because the pain consumes you at times. And I think for me, you hold on to the pain because you want to hold on to the person. But the pain is not the person, the pain is you. And in order to actually remember that person in the way they were, it's not through pain. I loved my son, she loved her husband. So it's not a painful memory per se, it's the actual act of death that brings about pain. But do we hold on to it? No. And she spoke from such a place of pain and victory at the same time. And the end of the documentary for me was when she did the exercises and she had self-care and she started glowing. The facial expression on there changed. So there was a contrast. And I would take that with me, that the pain should not consume you,
should not consume.
And for you, because when you were sharing there about your son who was 1 year when he passed this January, but you've turned that, you know, positively around into one of your perfume. Tell us about that and the name.
I think, Mama Kay, I wanted to, the first thing that came to mind was how am I going to be useful? And I didn't know how to deal with death that close to me. And the first thing that I thought was, I'm going to keep Wesley alive. And his alias was Tamo, because he was a bit chubby. And I thought, what about a perfume? I remember how he smelled. I know that smell, I know the fragrance. I was the first one to buy him a fragrance. And I still remember, I said to him, I'm going to buy you a fragrance. And he said, what happened to you? And I said, yes, I'm going to spend that money on you today. I think it's time. And I went into a shop and we bought Armani. And I kept that bottle. And you know, it took me 2 months to create Tamo. And it got closest as to what I could to get to that fragrance. Because I said, everywhere I go, people has to talk about Tamo. And they have to remember him. Not just the fragrance, but that name will forever be there. And I didn't want his memory to go away. So the best thing was everybody's going to smell like him. And that's how I created Tamo. Yeah.
And I don't know whether you mind me sharing this particular bit, because his death was sudden. He went to work, came back, was going to go back to his DJ side hustle, and that was it basically. And he was going to be 30 2 days or 3 days after. 31. And then, you know, he had a fiancée who they were going to get married and about having a child. And all that journey. And for you, you know, then that grandchild came. I know we discussed about it. Then you've been receiving therapy, you went for counseling. But there are times whereby I know I read, there was a time you shared on social media that you're exhausted spiritually, physically. And I know some people will see it and think, why is she doing this? But for you, you know, it's not you just crying out, you know, for anything, but it's, you know, just share that bit for us.
You become so tired as to want to keep them alive. And you know that they're not alive, but you want to keep them alive. And I think every time you want to keep them alive, the pain gets reawakened. And you don't realize that it gets reawakened. So what the therapist said is, we're going to have a release session. And she said, you must tell me when you're ready. And when I made that post, I was not ready.
Right.
And I said, I'm not going to be ready. I'm not going to release him. I don't want to let him go. And when I wrote that post on Facebook, I was like, I'm tired of making the decision. I want him to stay. And you know, I can't make him stay because he's gone already. And she said, Wendy, it's just symbolic for you to let go and move on. And you know, Mama Kay, you felt that child in your womb, you know. You don't know how to let go. And I know I have to, but you're almost too scared to be too happy, and the guilt of being too happy because there was a child. I don't want to forget him. And I said to myself, if the perfume was not enough, what is the next best thing? There's nothing else for me to do. He has returned to God. I have to leave it there. And I think somebody texts me on that message, and he said, you know, Wendy, because you're a woman of faith, I know your faith can probably be shaken by now, but believe that he's with God. And that's the consolation. And that's the hard part.
Yeah.
But you are spiritually, mentally, and physically tired, not because you are tired of the grief, you're tired of keeping them, wanting to keep them alive.
Thank you so much for sharing. Now I'm going to give you a very hard part to close. I know. Help me give words of encouragement to parents specifically that have lost a child, a son, a daughter, because normally in any culture, I believe, no parent is supposed to bury a child. It's supposed to be the other way around. Our children should bury us. So maybe somebody that's lost a child now, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, whatever words of encouragement you can give that you feel you want to hear someone say to you. I know it's not enough and it might not completely help with the healing and the pain, but please, if you look in the camera so that you can tell them.
Okay, what I can say is you grieve alone. There can be 20,000 people around you, but you have to go through this journey alone. And if I can say, do not have any regrets. Sometimes we regret our parenting styles and all of those things. Do not have regrets. Remember all the good things about that child, the things and the dreams that you had for that child. But take it as a journey that they've ran their race, you know. They've completed what they needed to. We still have to continue and tell your story. Tell your story all the time, wherever you go. Tell your story. Let people know what you have been through and how you got to your victory, if you got there, or on your journey getting there. But don't keep your story to yourself, because that is what I've learned, even from this documentary. Your pain will eat you, and it definitely does that. So tell your story. Let the world know that, you know, there was someone called Wesley in my case, and this is where I'm taking it. And let others learn from that, because we are all here in the same boat. Maybe the boat doesn't look the same, but we're in the same boat. Grief is grief in any form. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll be right back. Hi guys, yes, it's still People and Places with me, Dr. Mama K, and we're still at Hope Cape Town, Delft, South Africa. And wow, what a day. Today's event, Roadshow as we've called it now, has been showcasing and premiering, well, no longer premiere because we had the first screening, but this is, showcasing Forever Altered. The day has been amazing. Tell us who you are. And I know we know who you are, but just again, and just in a minute, just wrap up anything you want to say. But I'm going to still ask you to give words of encouragement. Know that one. Okay. So anything about today for you, just share.
All right. Thank you, everyone. My name is Tola Onodipe Thomas. Once again, I'm here to assist people in understanding the process of grief regarding the loss of my husband. I'm not a professional in terms of how you should go through grief. I'm just a human being who has experienced grief and wants to share the experience with hopes of helping you develop your own coping mechanisms to deal with it. Today was phenomenal. Watching people, from those who lost babies to those who lost their husbands, children, and the deep pain they were still feeling after so many years. There were a lot of resolved issues, a lot of areas that needed concern and support. And again, like I always say, you know what's best for you, but sometimes you need help. Sometimes you need to reach out to the professionals to help you go through the process. I thought I was skilled in the area because I work as a social worker. Why do I need somebody to tell me how to cope with grief? Eventually, I had to give in and see a therapist, and with the sessions, each session, it opened layers and layers of areas that I did not even know I was holding on to. So that's my advice, if you find yourself in grief, take the bull by the horn. Try hard, go through the pain, go through the process, cry if you must, but believe me, don't stay in a place of pain. You have to remove yourself, and eventually you might be free from it. It doesn't have a deadline, no timeline. It could be a year, it could be 10 years. Believe me, I might look this way now, but I still have my days. Some days I'm just not in the mood. I'm still mad, like, why did they take him? But, we found a way to live life to the fullest.
Is there anyone you want to just say thank you to, or to acknowledge in terms of even the production, of the movie? Yes. And what next?
Okay. So first of all, I want to acknowledge God. Thank God for the opportunity to come up with this idea. Thank God for the strength, the financial ability to cope with this. This was self-funded because I believed in it and I wanted to share the work with the world. I would also like to thank a big thank you to my cinematographer, Sheyi Thomas. He's also my nephew. He played a very vital role in all of this. He was there supporting me every time I felt like not doing it anymore. He'll be there. He had to fly into New York multiple times from Florida to support me, and that really made a lot of difference to me. And as I told him, the best is yet to come. So for the future, also, I would like to thank another good friend, Chike Nwofe. He also was in the background there, gnawing at me, nyam, 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 every day. Tola, what about the documentary? And I'm like, maybe next year. I did that for 2 years, and then afterwards, he was texting me almost every day. Can you just do chapter 1? Do 1 today? You know, the encouragement really helped me. My kids, I want to thank each and every one of them. Ololade, Adebusola, Abimbola, Christopher, I love you all. And also my grandchild, Layla, and my son-in-law, Deji. I'm just grateful for all the support system I have in my life. I want to thank everybody, all my friends, and most especially Mama Kay. I am here today because she believed in me. She's dragged me from my comfort zone and kept telling me, come out here and speak to people, showcase this thing, and today it has happened. Thank you so much. You've been more than a sister, a friend to me. You're a sister. I just say thank you to everybody who has supported me one way or the other.
Social media handle, I know it's being worked on.
Yes.
Instagram, Facebook page,
Yes.
All that's being worked on. So we can't wait to see and to hear more of what you're doing. Well, we thank everyone that's been involved. Marlene, all the team at Hope Cape Town, people behind the scene, getting the tea ready, helping to set the chairs.
Yes.
Wahida, I don't want to forget any names. Ball Moves volunteer,
John.
Wendy, John behind the scenes, and all the speakers. This is the last kind of show we're doing. And we're going to try and get her to get Joe on holiday from tomorrow because she leaves in 2 days' time.
Yes.
So it's been back to back. We see you all the community projects, everybody we've been working, and we commend Bethel House as well for having us, you know, for the premiere itself. And when I told this, my sister Marlene, that we were going to, we would want to do it, and she's like, yes. And wow is all I can say. We love you all. Remember, seek counseling. Have a circle of friends or family or neighbors or groups like we saw with the Delft seniors, how they support each other. There's so much, you know, out there.
And may I also say, eventually, we're going to put it out there to the public so you can view it. The first platform I'm going to be using is Bold Moves Africa. So it will be our first platform. So it's going to be out there just for your support, to reference anytime you go through pain and grief. Just watch what other people have done. It might help you too. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll be right back. God bless. Hi guys, yes, welcome to People and Places. And we are at Hope Cape Town, Delft Cape Town, South Africa, where we're going to showcase Forever Altered, a 30-minute documentary which was produced and filmed, you know, and by Tola Onodipe Thomas. She's Lady T, Mama T, Tola T, and so much more. So, and this is our joint partner because it's not just a Bold Moves Africa event. This one in particular is in collaboration with Hope Cape Town. And I've got my sister friend sister, friend has become sister here, Marlene. Tell us a little bit about Hope Cape Town. And then what should we expect from today's event?
Okay, thank you, Mama Kay. So yes, we have a friendship and a collaboration that's been over quite a long time. since Hope Cape Town was established here in Delft. The next in Dawoyetu, our campus here in Delft. It is a community center for everybody in Delft, no matter what your age, no matter what your thoughts are, your culture, your faith, it doesn't matter. You are welcome here. We have a lot of different services, health, ECD, education and training, youth, for everybody.
And I can see the gym, the outside exercise thing, the game, and then the vegetable garden and so much, there. So today's event, even though the documentary is about a story of love, grief, hope, and strength, what do you think we should expect from today?
Well, we're expecting probably close to between 80 and 100 people here. These are local people from Delft. And as you may know, Delft has a lot of crime, a lot of trauma, intergenerational trauma. And we have people here who are holding pain for many, many years. Counseling isn't always immediately available. We don't always have the answers for everybody. But if we can share people's stories, people will then come out, they'll be brave enough to come out with their own stories. And that's already one step towards healing.
Thank you so much, for that. And I can't wait, for what today has for us. And I know our seniors, the Delft seniors, they're already ready and wanting to be part of it, and all the volunteers, everybody, snacks, food, and so on, afterwards. So can you just give words of encouragement, to anyone, in terms of your personal, journey of grief? And I know you shared earlier on to me about losing even a friend recently. So, and that you've not even, maybe it's not sunk in yet, and you're maybe still in the denial. Maybe let's even talk about that one before I go to word of encouragement. I'll close with that. So for you, because that's the topic we're dealing with, and for me, I know everybody has lost loved ones one way or the other. For you, how have you handled grief? Maybe that should be the question.
Yeah, I think I don't think that grief, it comes naturally, and I don't think that it's something that we necessarily, all of us, need to hurry. I think it comes in a different way to different people. For me, sometimes the shock is there at the passing of somebody, but how do I deal with it thereafter?
Yes.
And I think here, particularly in Delft, what is so meaningful is that the community gathers around the family that is grieving, and that is tremendously important. So many of us don't have family. And when we're on our own and something happens, we don't know necessarily how to deal with it, and so we wipe it out. And we put it in the background. And if we keep filling up that background, at some stage we're going to crash. So I think it's important that everybody knows their own process, holds their own process for themselves, and is gentle with themselves. People are always saying to us, be strong, but it's important to be gentle, actually, because that time will come.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Now, I know you said, but I want you now to just say a few more. You said to be gentle, but I want you to look into the camera just to give further words of encouragement to anyone else out there.
If you are dealing with grief and you haven't been able to share it, or you found that people are not responding in the way you really need, then find somebody to share your grief with. Sometimes it's a professional, Sometimes it's a stranger. Sometimes it's somebody that you just see in nature. Find the right person, because that's where your healing begins.
Thank you. We'll be right back.